What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barça Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past few days, minus any Xavi news. The Xavi news has been flip-flopping so much over the past 24 hours. This video will not be discussing Xavi's future. Check the channel out for videos before this or after this on Xavi's future, which I will be uploading, live time as they come out. But this video, we're not talking about Xavi's future. We're talking about everything around that. Summer signings: Dani Olmo, Aleix Garcia, Bernardo Silva, very, very high on Barcelona's midfield reinforcement list. We have some updates around Guido Rodriguez as well, Diaz, the future of the Joaos, player sales, Abde, Todibo, how they can, influence and gain Barcelona some profit this summer, the future of De Jong and Araujo, some rumors about them potentially leaving, the club setting a price for them as well. Big contract renewal updates on Sergi, Roberto, Marc, Guiu, players who want to stay like Christensen, Mikayil Faye as well. And we also have a huge update on Barcelona returning to the 1-1 rules. So many different pathways: UAE sponsorship, USA sponsorship, the deal with Nike, the deal with Liberal Football Finance. So much optimism around La Liga and Barcelona that they can return to the 1-1 rule. No worries, definitely possible on the table. Also some updates on the future of Rafa Marquez at the club as well, and big Sergi Dest update on his future, where it's taking a bad turn from the Barcelona perspective. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into the video, this video is sponsored by LU Soccer. LU Soccer is one of the most versatile replica jersey websites on the market. They have a variety of different items from different clubs, from CONCACAF, Serie A, Bundesliga, Ligue 1. They have a jersey from any country, any league, basically in the world. And of course, they do have some Barcelona merchandise. I do have here two items they have sent me, which I think is absolutely fantastic. One is this limited edition black kit. I believe this was a concept. It looks absolutely beautiful. Of course, it has the Spotify logo there, and also this one is what caught my eye the most. It is this kind of retro. It has the first ever badge for Barcelona in the middle there as well. It looks so sick, and they have different options very similar to this one for all different clubs and country. So what are you waiting for? Hit the top link in the description down below and check out LU Soccer today for the best prices and also the best quality. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past few days. So the first player we're going to discuss is a player's name that is gaining a lot of momentum around Barcelona, and that is Dani Olmo. Now, Fran Martinez from Deportivo has come out saying that Barcelona have started the Dani Olmo operation to be one of the signings of the summer transfer window. The club is very serious about it. His agent and his father met with Deco recently, and there was very good harmony. The agents already know that Olmo is a clear objective for the summer, and that Barcelona's objective is to approach the signing before the Euros, if possible. I'll tell you right now for free, that is not possible. He has a 60 million euro release clause with RB Leipzig this summer and will not want to reduce it. They want to negotiate, wanting to be able to pay in installments. Barcelona need income though, either a sale or through sponsorship. They hope to be within a good relationship with Dani and his agents, and with Leipzig solutions that can be found in terms of the payment method. Now, a couple of things here. Number one, is Dani Olmo really a priority? Look, cracking player. I've been talking about Dani Olmo for the past 3 or 4 years on this channel, ever since Joao Laporta became the president. The two players that he really liked him personally was Joao Felix and Dani Olmo, so I'm not surprised by these links whatsoever. We just don't need, we're at a state now in the team where we don't need him. I think maybe 2 years time, he could definitely be a shout. I will bet a lot of money that we will see Dani Olmo in a Barcelona shirt before he retires. I think that's pretty much guaranteed at this point. It's just a play that we don't need. And to be honest, if you think we need him, fair enough. But there's other priorities ahead of that. Whether it's a DM, whether it's a left winger, whether it's to figure out the fullback situation. I'd much rather sort out the goalkeeper situation first ahead of getting a player like Dani Olmo. Cracking player, would definitely take him at the club, but just isn't what we need at the moment. If the club really see him as an inverted left winger and they think that that's the best move going forward for our left wing position, whatever, buy him and see how he does. I think personally that's not the correct move. Again, we'll wait and see. It's really early. We're, end of April, or now the season's dead. We're trying to, once we secure second place, we'll really get an idea of what the club's idea is. Of course, whether or not Xavi stays as well will have a big factor. But Barcelona are tracking Dani Olmo. Again, the meeting with Dani Olmo's father was for Mikayil Faye. It was not for his son, who's playing, of course. So that's where this report has a little bit of slip up, a little bit of holes. But I think the reality is that Barcelona are interested in Dani Olmo, and there could be a chance to sign him in the future. So keep your eyes on this possible operation this summer. If it does come to fruition, again, Barcelona can activate the release clause, but cannot pay it all at once. This will have to be a deal where they have to pay this release clause in installments over the next few years. If RB Leipzig agree to that, this operation will be smooth. If not, it'll make things very complicated. So wait and see how things turn out. But Barcelona keeping a close eye and tracking the situation of Dani Olmo this summer. Now, a player with a very similar profile to Dani Olmo that is picking up a bit more momentum than the Spanish midfielder, it is Bernardo Silva. Now, Oriol Romeu from TV3, who is a top source and doesn't really speak too much, but when he does speak and give information, you have to listen. He came out saying that Bernardo Silva's #1 option this summer remains Barcelona. He really likes the city, though other clubs are interested in him. The general consensus right now around Bernardo Silva is that he will leave Man City this summer. How and where is still the big question mark. But of course, following the news about Barcelona and Xavi and the 1-1 rule, all this sort of stuff, multiple outlets, whether it's Mundo Deportivo, I think Ferran Corraz from Sport really came out holding down saying it, that considering Barcelona returned to the 1-1 rule, Bernardo Silva is a player the entire club likes. Keep in mind, the board are always mixing and matching. Sometimes the board agree on something, sometimes there's disagreements. There's never, total consensus. But Bernardo Silva is a player that everyone agrees upon, from the current coaching staff to the sporting sector, and he is of course willing to come to Barcelona, and he has a release clause of 58 million euros this summer. Now, I will say this, might be a hot take, I don't know, but I'm going to say it. I'd much rather sign Dani Olmo ahead of Bernardo Silva. I think Bernardo Silva, fantastic player. I think right now Bernardo Silva is miles clear of Dani Olmo, but Dani Olmo fits into what we're building at Barcelona, that young core, to when they're all in their prime, they're all in their moment, he will be with them as well. Spanish teammates, he integrated the city, style of play, easy, no problem. Of course, Bernardo Silva will probably have that as well with all the players that can speak Portuguese, the Joaos, of course, who are Portuguese. But I just rather sign Dani Olmo because I think he fits the mold of what Barcelona are going through in a much more consistent basis, and also much younger as well, so there's more longevity. Bernardo Silva, you spend 60 million on him, probably have him for maybe 2 to 4 years, somewhere around that, and then he's gonna be off to Saudi or MLS to retire, maybe back to Portugal to retire. That's how I see it personally. The time to sign Bernardo Silva was in that summer of 2022 when he was the final piece to our puzzle. We couldn't get it over the line. Since then, he's of course been rumored all the time to come to Barcelona, and it's never come to fruition whatsoever. So for me personally, again, I see other priorities similar to what Dani Olmo is, but of course Dani Olmo, Bernardo Silva are the same type of players, an attacking midfielder that can play on the interior and also play on the wing as well. Out of the two, I personally would either go for Dani Olmo, considering all the bases as well, operation being easier, the age, the nationality, the longevity of it as well. But we'll wait and see how things turn out. Again, this doesn't come down just to Barcelona, but also whether or not Xavi wants to stay or not, what Xavi decides, all these things as well. So wait and see, keep your eyes. It looks like Barcelona are really looking for this kind of attacking midfielder, interior / player that can play on the wings as well for this summer, and they are tracking both Dani Olmo and heavily Bernardo Silva as well. Now, a player who Barcelona had been linked with for months now, and it still continues to this day, is Aleix Garcia, staying on the theme of midfielders as well. Mateo Morito from Merlivo has come out saying that signing a positional midfielder is Barcelona's priority for the summer transfer window. The club is keeping an eye on players like Aleix Garcia, who would cost around 15 million euros, and also other players as well. Now, he's saying 15 plus, your Romeus, your Pablo Torres, your Eric Garcia, then I don't know what Girona are smoking down in the other side 10 minutes down the road in Catalonia. They're absolutely waffling. I think we can get this operation over the line by just including straight players. I personally would offer Eric Garcia or Romeu for Aleix Garcia as a straight swap. Maybe I'd throw in Pablo Torre as well, but have somewhere where we retain part of his future, a buyback option for a future sale if Girona sell him on. Something like that I'd be open to. But giving them those 3 players that we of course get rid of off the wage bill, they get players that they want as well. We get a player in return. Happy days operation. Of course, we can use our hard cash for other operations like a DM, left winger, Bernardo Silva, Dani Olmo, whatever the case may be. I think Aleix Garcia would be a fantastic signing. Again, depends on who you go for. Whether you go for Aleix Garcia, more conservative signing, you go for a top player like Bernardo Silva. I don't think they can all join. I think we do need someone in the interior as well to provide coverage and competition for both Pedri and Gavi. Of course, Gavi coming back from an ACL, probably won't be back until August. Pedri, of course, in and out with injuries as well, so he's someone that you can definitely rely upon. So I'm happy that Barcelona are being linked with a player like Aleix Garcia, but we're linked with players like Bernardo Silva and Dani Olmo. That's where I get a bit worried. So wait and see how things turn out. I personally think this would be a fantastic signing. He's one of the best midfielders in La Liga, and he's available at a great price as well. I think he's 26 to 27 years old. You can easily get 4 or 5 years out of him. It's a no-brainer signing in my opinion, if this is the kind of profile that you're looking for. So again, we'll wait and see how things turn out. But again, I think Aleix Garcia's signing could definitely pick up momentum at any given point from now until the end of the summer transfer window. Now, as we all know, and you and I can agree upon, the priority for Barcelona this summer should be to invest in a top midfielder, more specifically a top pivot. We've actually been linked with a pivot over the past few days, but not a top one, another cheap alternative. It is Guido Rodriguez. Fernando Polo from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona are attentive to Guido Rodriguez, who is free in June. The sports sector is already working to understand the feasible. Barcelona value him for experience, quality, and because he's free. The forecast within Barcelona is not to not make too expensive transfers, waiting for bigger transfers in 2025. Napoli are also interested in him. Barcelona had contacted Guido a long time and kept him on standby, looking to see if they're going to be able to get someone like Amadou Onana. However, seeing how the FFP situation is not great, the Argentine is again on the table as a cheap possibility, and Deco already has him under control. Look, as a backup option, I don't mind. Like, for example, him coming in to replace Oriol Romeu would not bother me, but if he's the only pivot signing, I will be fuming. So if you're telling me next season our pivots are going to be Guido Rodriguez and Christensen, I would not be too happy. But, you know, what can I do? I'm just an old bloody fan who can have no influence whatsoever. I think if you maybe have Guido Rodriguez and Amadou Onana, Guido Rodriguez and Zubamendi, wouldn't mind that. But Guido Rodriguez and Christensen for a season, may God have mercy on our souls. So wait and see how things turn out. Again, he's a free option. That's why I'm not really, you know, totally against it. But again, if he's the main signing, of course, I would be against it despite him being free. But he's coming in as a squad player. He could at least provide some sort of naturality in the pivot. It's whatever, in my opinion, especially with him being on a free transfer. But if he's the only signing, I am very, 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 very worried. But keep your eyes on Guido Rodriguez. The club are tracking him. He's, of course, a free agent, which, of course, bolsters his chance of having any sort of opportunity to sign for Barcelona. But, of course, no final decision has been made quite yet. But keep your eyes on his situation. Now, another priority for Barcelona this summer alongside a pivot should be, of course, reinforcing the left wing position. We have been linked with a top left winger in Luis Diaz, who Barcelona have been following now for about 2 or 3 years. Alfredo Martinez from Sport came out saying that Barcelona would love to sign Luis Diaz in the summer, but it's almost impossible. The Colombian wants to come, but other parties know that Liverpool are not going to make anything easy for his departure. Apparently, PSG have been very heavily interested as well. It looks like Luis Diaz is kind of open to leaving Liverpool. I don't know, because of Klopp leaving, or maybe you just want to go there for 2 or 3 years to play in the Prem, then, you know, bring his ability elsewhere. I like Luis Diaz. I think he's a good player. I would definitely take him for the left wing, but I think, again, for the price, it's not worth it. Also, I think the left wing future does depend a lot on Ansu Fati as well. What happens with him? Would we trust him for another year? Do we loan him out? You know, things like that can always have, you know, different interpretation and different results as well. I don't think we'll sign Luis Diaz in summer. I think the only way we can sign Luis Diaz is if he's a free agent, or maybe worst case scenario has 1 year left on his contract, which of course is not the case this summer. But keep your eyes on him for the future. Barcelona have always rated him ever since back in his Porto days. I remember Barcelona actually made an offer when he was at Porto, but then Liverpool came in and they offered a better deal, better price to Porto as well, better installments as well. So that's why they got the deal over the line. So we've always been in for him. We've always liked him. And again, his father's been talking a lot about Barcelona in the media as well. So keep your eyes on it for the foreseeable future. But for this summer, it is basically next to impossible. Of course, at Barcelona, it's always about the story of twists and turns. We've had some twists and turns on the future of the two Joaos coming in from Mundo Deportivo. Firstly, on Cancelo, they've come out saying that Joao Cancelo's continuation is in doubt due to his mistakes in the 2 most important matches of the season. Man City would not release his contract. They demand a transfer fee, so that's why Barcelona now have to think about it. Of course, for free, I'll take the gamble on Cancelo, no problem, but with Man City asking for a decent fee, it brings up the question. Yes, Cancelo had an absolutely horrendous week last week, but I still think he's done enough this season to, you know, warrant to continue at Barcelona. I think, again, it comes down to now the conditions of the deal. If we can loan him again, cool, 20 million package at the absolute most, sure. I think you're talking upwards of 30 million, 40 million apparently what Man City want. I think that's when you get to the territory where you got to really consider it. But again, he's an absolutely quality fullback, both at right back and left back, and giving him up with our especially current fullback depth isn't really the smartest idea. He can be very useful in some matches. Maybe next season we can play more defensive fullbacks like Alejandro Balde, who can, you know, do a job on a balanced basis. Ronald Araujo maybe, Koundé as well. So these things like that can be considered. But also with the future of Joao Felix as well. Mundo Deportivo came out saying that the future of Joao Felix at Barcelona is still in doubt. The club would like to sign him on another free loan, but it's not quite clear. Also, Sport came out saying that even though there's commitment to buy Joao Cancelo and Joao Felix, especially the fullback, the club's looking for formula to keep them both. There are some within the club who have doubts about whether or not they should stay. I hate how the board is always like divided. I don't believe that's the case. I feel like that's just the journalists and whoever's giving the journalists the information just kind of keep things a bit loose, like, oh, they want to keep them, but yeah, they don't know. Just always say that, like, you know, they can never be wrong, so to speak, with their reports. But look, the reality is it was always going to be the case with Joao Felix. If we can get him on a good deal for him to stay another year, sure. If not, not worth it. With Cancelo, I think we can go a bit of an extra mile, but of course not too far. I think with Cancelo, with Felix, you don't go anything extra. You say, hey, this is the price we have, take it or leave it. Nope, okay, sayonara, see you later, alligator. With Cancelo, we can do this, but we can also maybe squeeze this worst case scenario. Oh, we want more? See you later, alligator. So that's the situation of the two Joaos, and I think, again, they will have to be determined their futures very, very soon. I would say, honestly, within the next month, we should have a very good idea, because these two players are on loan. We have to resolve their futures before June the 30th if we're, you know, a good and well operating club, and also we can then worry about other things as well, other signs we want to make, other departures as well. So I expect these two futures to be sorted out hopefully by, you know, beginning of before June the 1st at the absolute latest, so the next month and a week or so. So we'll wait and see how things turn out. But again, with now having an absolutely terrible week, these two players not really having an effect. Of course, the news around them isn't going to be that great, but give it a few weeks, maybe they'd play well against Valencia, Girona, and Real Sociedad, and things might change. But I think, again, it always comes down to how and what in terms of the formula to keep the two Joaos. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past few days. First of all, I want to talk about players that have a way of getting profit for Barcelona this summer. One of them, of course, that we talked about a lot on the channel, is Jean-Claire Todibo. Sport have come out saying that Atletico Madrid is now interested in Todibo, and Barcelona, of course, reserve 20% of any future sale for the player. If the transfer happens, Barcelona could potentially use that money to reduce the transfer fee for Joao Felix's move to Barcelona. So we can kind of use Jean-Claire Todibo's percent of a future sale as a bit of collateral to make the operation of Joao Felix considerably cheaper. That could be an option as well, but hopefully Todibo is on the move from Nice this summer. Of course, a lot of Premier League clubs want him as well. Atletico Madrid interested, so any sale for him, we get 20% of that transfer fee, which of course will come in handy very well. And also with Abde is Lazelo. Now, I just want to talk about Abde very quickly for about 10 seconds. My God, has he flopped. We were all worried about him going to Betis, how he left on deadline day, how we sold him. Turns out to be a masterclass because he went to Betis, not played whatsoever. He's just been absolutely average. But Mundo Deportivo are reporting that Betis could sell Abde this summer, and of course, Barcelona still hold 50% sell-on clause for the player. So any fee that Betis sell Abde for, we get 50% of. We also have a buyback option for him, I think, this summer and next summer as well. I think this summer for 20 million, the next summer for 25 million euros. So again, we still retain a lot of the future of Abde, so keep your eyes on that as well. But how he's, you know, not done well at Betis to me is beyond belief. But keep your eyes on these two players' future, and along with other players as well that also retain part of an effect with Barcelona, for example, like Mikayil Faye of Las Palmas. But let's now discuss some of the bigger sales at Barcelona, one of them being potentially Frenkie de Jong. Now, Mateo Morito from Olivo has come out saying that Bayern Munich are once again exploring the possibility for Frenkie de Jong. The player is comfortable in Barcelona, but the club welcomes a good offer for him, at least 60 to 70 million euros plus a salary save, which would solve more than half of their financial problem. So yeah, again, we're at a point now where the season is dead. You're going to hear all these rumors about Barcelona doing a whole squad rehaul, but these stories always come about during this time of the season. Now, Mateo Morito also came out saying that Frenkie de Jong wants to stay at Barcelona, but again, the transfer is not something that can catastrophically rule out right now, with the club wanting at least 70 million euros for him. Now, on the Bayern Munich front, Plettigol, who of course number one source around Bayern Munich, has come out saying that Bayern have never abandoned Frenkie de Jong from their sights. The German club is still following his situation, but the topic is not hot right now. His extremely high wages are a problem. So Bayern Munich like the player, but not really pursuing him or making any movements or actions to try and tempt him and try to get the operation underway whatsoever for the time being. So we'll wait and see on that. Also, Alex Pentel from Relivo came out saying that Frenkie de Jong wants to stay, but the club's ready to sell him, and they believe they can get around 60 to 70 million euros for him. And finally, Joaquin Pereira, who usually does not discuss Barca news on this front. He's always talking about those Brazilian players coming in and out of Barcelona, South American talents, but he's come out of nowhere saying that Barcelona is considering a possible sale of Frenkie de Jong. It's not just due to financial reasons as well. The club would like to bring in a top midfielder to replace him, preferably a pivot. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Waffle. This is waffle in the sense that Barcelona all of a sudden, oh, we want to sell Frenkie de Jong to reinvest in the squad. He hasn't been that great this season, blah, blah, blah. 2 months ago, the clubs are on their knees offering him a renewal. Tranquilo. I would say wait till the season ends, see how the season ends, and see what the mood is. Right now, everything's going left, right, and center. 1 minute we want to sell him, 1 minute we want to renew him. Again, you have to take the words of the board, what they've come out saying. Laporta, Deco have done a lot of interviews over the past 2 months, and they both came out saying the same thing. We want to keep Frenkie de Jong. We want to keep the core players that we have and add on top of it. We want to renew the likes of Frenkie de Jong, Araujo, Pedri, Gavi, all these important players. We want to keep that core and build on it. And all of a sudden now we're open to 70 million euros for Frenkie de Jong. By the way, in terms of the evaluation, wouldn't mind it. 2 years left in his deal. We get just about what we paid for him. I think, you know what, if the club do sell him and, you know, they do go through with it, I personally wouldn't be upset with that kind of transfer fee. Squeeze a little bit of variables in there as well. People are saying that, oh, sell Frenkie de Jong to bring a top midfield, top pivot. I don't. We return to the 1-1 rule in La Liga, of course. That's definitely a possibility, but I don't think the club will do that. I think they'll probably sell Frenkie de Jong, bring in Aleix Garcia, and call it quits. That's how I see the club doing it personally. So we'll wait and see. Keep calm. Of course, if Xavi stays as well, they'll have a big factor. Depends who the coach comes in on, if they want to keep Frenkie de Jong, stuff like that. Way too early to determine that, oh, Barcelona all of a sudden went from praying that Frenkie de Jong renews to now open to selling him. This is all tactics from the club to get Frenkie de Jong to make a conclusion on the renewal offer that Barcelona have made to him and that he still probably to this day has not responded to. And again, in terms of financial situation, we know the wages of Frenkie de Jong are high, but they're not as high as made out to be. Of course, Frenkie de Jong came out in the media pre-Napoli game, killing the media, of course, saying that his wages that are being reported are nowhere near what he makes. Frenkie de Jong, the reports are he makes around 40 million per season, which I think was like, what, 700,000 a week. That's not the case. I think Frenkie de Jong earns probably 15 to 20 million euros net, which is I think around about $250,000 a week, maybe 300,000 upwards around there, which for his ability week in, week out per season isn't of course too bad. But of course this season when he's had a lot of injuries, probably only played, I would say, 55% of the season compared to what he usually does when he's fully fit. But all these things is because Barcelona are on a low right now. We want to try and make money and improve the squad. That's kind of the big hot topic right now. So keep calm. Let's see how things develop. But apparently Barcelona open to selling Frenkie de Jong now. Now you can literally copy that segment I just did now with Frenkie de Jong and just paste it right here. Just replace Frenkie de Jong's name with Araujo because it's the exact same situation. Now Alfredo Martinez has come out saying that Araujo is no longer untouchable at Barcelona. The club will listen to offers for him. The board is convinced they'll be able to obtain an offer of more than 100 million. The club believes that with Pau Cubarsí, they can afford to sell the Uruguayan with the help, and that which will help them financially. First of all, how the hell is the emergence of Pau Cubarsí made the club feel they can sell their best defender? Cubarsí has been in this squad since January. You're telling me 3-4 months of Pau Cubarsí, and yet you've seen the light. You'll just bin every top player you have because you have him, of course, in the defense-wise. It's just waffle. Now, in terms of those Bayern Munich links, Mateo Merito has come out saying that as of right now, there's no negotiations whatsoever ongoing between Araujo and Bayern Munich. He came out also saying that as of today, there's no significant developments either. Communications have been interpreted in recent months, and so far Barcelona have not received any firm offer for either Frenkie de Jong or Araujo. Again, same situation. The club just want him to renew his contract. They're going to put some noise out there. Oh, we want to sell you, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes this backfires. We've seen this in the past where players are like, oh, you want to sell me? Okay, I'm going to leave for realsy now. This is all just movement by the media to really get the push going on the renewal talks, get the fans, panicking. Oh, we shouldn't sell Araujo. He's our top player, blah, blah, blah. Wait for renewal talks to start, both with Araujo and Frenkie de Jong. Again, I do have some sources to Araujo, and I'm hearing the same thing. They're saying, look, right now it's 50-50. Since that February little pre-meeting where his agents were in Barcelona, just kind of had some very, very early discussion, very, very preliminary talks. Nothing has changed, and nothing has developed since then. So I would say right now it's a 50-50. Of course, the Xavi stays, that might help a little bit. Araujo from the last time he renewed his contract was promised that he would get a fair salary increase. So again, if he was to stay, he would be on decent money. And does he want to stay as well? Last season was great. This season was a disaster. So it's going to come down to the player himself as well. I think our project is pretty much even to Bayern Munich. I don't think Bayern Munich is a step up from Barcelona whatsoever. I would say it's a very even step as well. So might as well stay where you're comfortable, where all the fans love you, where you're one of the bloody captains of the club as well. But it's up to him. We'll wait and see what he decides. But again, both Araujo and Frenkie de Jong situation is very, very similar. A lot of noise about a possible sale, but nothing will be decided until after very firm contract renewal talks with both the Dutchman and the Uruguayan. Now, a player that we can all agree should probably leave the club this summer. That's how everyone feels around the situation. The player, his agent, the board, the coach as well, is Oriol Romeu. Fernando Polo from Deportivo came out saying the club believes Oriol Romeu will leave in the summer because he wants more playing time. Also, he's a bit shy as well, so no real update there. The player wants to leave, perfect, though I think the board probably want him to leave as well, so do the fans, and you know, a situation that I think has nowhere turning back at this point, especially with those Guido Rodriguez links as well. The question really comes down to now is how Oriol Romeu will leave. Will we sell him, let him go for free, include him in operation? That's what remains in doubt, but what doesn't remain in doubt is his exit this summer. Now, we do have some updates in regards to players staying at Barcelona, one of them, of course, being Lamine Yamal. There is reports coming in from France, yet again, that PSG want to sign Lamine Yamal as a priority this summer to replace Kylian Mbappe, and they're ready to offer around 200 million euros to Barcelona for him. But again, that's not going to be the case. 24 March come out saying that Lamine Yamal only wants to stay at Barcelona. Luis Rojo came out saying that Lamine Yamal is now for sale. Barcelona would demand at least €1 billion release clause to be activated for any club wanting to sign him. Of course, that release clause is activated. This comes down to the player's decision himself whether or not to cancel the contract with Barcelona and leave somewhere else or stay at the club. Again, it's not going to happen. I think if someone really offered maybe like 300, the club might be like, oh, not bad. But I think for 200, you're best to keep him. Again, he's 16, and what he's doing right now is absolutely sensational. Imagine him at 21, imagine him at 24, imagine him at 27. I very get scared to think about what he'll be doing in his prime at 28, 29. It's just gonna be ridiculous. So again, keeping him is a no-brainer. I don't think this PSG offer is actually true anyways. I don't think PSG really would want to give 200 million to Barcelona for Lamine Yamal. Although they did need a player like Lamine Yamal, I doubt this will happen whatsoever. But we'll wait and see if anything comes to fruition. But it's quite clear that Lamine Yamal's future at Barcelona this summer is not in jeopardy whatsoever. Now, a player that was considered to be used as a potential sale this summer, but looks like from the player's side it's very unlikely, is Andreas Christensen. Now, Fernando Polo from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona do not want to sell Andreas Christensen. They want to keep him as a pivot in the future too, given his performances this season. Moreover, he can also play as a center back with full guarantees as well. So the club liked the player, of course the profile as well, can now adapt to both center back and the pivot, so the club have no intentions of selling him as things currently stand. Also from the player side as well, he doesn't want to leave. He came out with some quotes pre-El Clasico saying that I have no doubts that I will be here next season. I still have two more years left on my contract and I want to fulfill them. Again, he did leave Chelsea for free, so keep your eyes on that. I personally hope that we don't lose Christensen for free, that if we do end up losing him, we get some sort of valuation for him. But again, 2 years left, so next summer a decision will have to be made, probably even after this summer. You're going to have to start, talking to him about a renewal, things of that nature as well. But for this summer, very unlikely that the Danish player does leave the club this summer. Now, a player that will 100% be part of the first team next season in some sort of capacity is Mikayil Faye. Now, Santi Ona from Foot Mercado came out saying that Mikayil Faye's entourage met with Deco recently to discuss about his situation. The player would like to have his chance in the first team, while people around him don't understand the management by Barcelona. Another meeting will be held in the coming weeks to discuss his future and Barcelona's plans with him. Various clubs are interested in him, and they're growing in number. Any offer of 20 million euros could be interesting. Again, what the club want to do is see him on preseason, and whether Xavi's the manager or someone else, they want to be there to assess him as well. I think personally he would be a great fourth choice option at center back, especially with that left foot giving us that different outlook as well, especially if Inigo Martinez is likely to leave the club this summer. But again, he wants to probably play week in, week out, which is understandable, but I think he just want to see somewhat of a career at Barcelona. I think it can go either way. I think we could probably end up selling him for some great profit, or he can end up staying in the first team. To be honest, I'm kind of cool with either. If you sell him, yes, we have great coverage, although we don't have a left-footed center back. Center back, that'd be a big question mark. But if you do keep him, you have a great player there that can provide you that different outlook. So we can see 100% guaranteed he's going to be on that plane to America. But post that plane to America, anything can happen. He, of course, has to take his chance on the tour, play well in training, impress also on the pitch, and of course, the collective, his player, and the player, the agent, and the club, the coach as well, will make a decision. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, on the captain, Sergi Roberto, and it's official now, Sergi Roberto se queda. Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona are clear on Roberto's continuity regardless of who the next coach is. They have proposed an extension for 1 more year until 2025, and they've summoned his representative Jose Maria for another meeting. The club will offer him initially the same salary, and the player is inclined to continue despite interest from Italy, MLS, and Saudi Arabia. So the club have decided that no matter what, if Xavi stays or not, Sergi Roberto will be offered a new contract, 1-year offer on the same terms, same conditions as well, and Roberto will probably accept it. Look, if this is Roberto from last season, I'd be very upset. But this season, Roberto, you know what? Apart from that first month of the season, he's been alright. He's come in, he's done a job. You know, he hasn't played. Again, the two worst performances individually this season have come from Sergi Roberto. Let's not forget about that. Away the time of Messi in the cup, and of course away, second away game of the season against Villarreal, where he was just pure and utter woeful. But both those were at right back in the midfield this season. I'm gonna hold my hands up. Roberto has been decent. You have to give credit where credit is due. It's we're at right back where he's just been absolutely sticky. Even that 10 minutes against Cadiz where he played at right back, he was barely surviving, barely getting by. So, I mean, it's whatever. I understand the transition of going to the Camp Nou. You want someone there who's a leader, knows the city, the language, you know, all that stuff, especially if you have a new manager coming in to help with the integration process as well. So, a lot of the work behind the scenes, again, he's earning peanuts, and he will have no problem being a rotational player. Again, Xavi always says that if, you know, he was fit, he'd have more of a role in Barcelona. But you know what? We'll wait and see. But looks like the club have made the decision on Roberto. They will offer him a new one-year deal, same conditions, same terms as well. He'll earn next to nothing, and he's going to be the captain for next season. Comes down to Roberto to whether he'll counter that offer or accept it. Probably accept it. So we could see Sergi Roberto next season leading the team again. And the final contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Marc Guiu. Now, Gabriel Sanz and Todibo came out saying that Barcelona are pleased with Marc Guiu's performances and have conveyed their intention to renew in initial talks. The player wants to stay, and it's his dream to succeed at Barcelona and does not want to hear offers from anywhere else. There is no hurry to close his renewal of his current contract, which currently renewed in 2022 for 3 seasons, plus a 2-season option, which expires in 2025. So he still has a fairly decent contract, but right now, it's not really a worry per se that we can go into the summer, maybe, you know, take our time with it. But again, it's a player that Barcelona like. He's done very well this season. I would love to see him go out on loan this summer as well, if we keep, you know, Victor Roque and Lewandowski as our 2 main strikers, and then go out there, get some experience, play week in, week out. We know the talent that he has. Of course, put that clause in his contract that he cannot face us as well, so that doesn't backfire on us by any means necessary. But I love Marc Guiu. I love the profile that he has as well, but definitely needs more minutes to help him develop. Let's now discuss some of the injury updates around the first team at Barcelona. We actually have 2 huge, big blows injury updates for the first team. First one up is Frenkie de Jong from the injury that he did suffer in the Clasico. The club did confirm that he has yet again sprained his right ankle. He'll be out for about 5 weeks, which means that he will miss the rest of the season for Barcelona, but should be good to go for the Euros this summer. Of course, the last month for Barcelona, we're playing Girona, and that's it. We're just fighting for second place. We can survive without Frenkie. You can see the picture, by the way, on the right-hand side where you can see the ankle sprain, which didn't look as bad, of course, in live time when we were watching the Clasico, but now in that freeze frame, his ankle completely twisted from the hit of from the power that Valverde put on the ball. So I mean, it's a again unlucky injury. Hopefully he recovers very well. Hope he can go and, you know, represent his country in the Euros. But Frenkie de Jong's injury is not the worst that Barcelona suffered in the past week. It's been Serginho Dest. We talked about Serginho Dest, of course, in the last video, how PSV and Ajax showing big interest for him this summer, and now Barcelona have no worries about selling him. It's taken a flip. He got injured in training on Saturday with PSV, and he's now ruled out for the rest of the year. He's ruled out. He's had a big knee injury. Apparently, it was, you know, very accidental. It wasn't like a huge tackle or something like that. It just happened naturally. He'll be out until 2025, Serginho Dest, and that, of course, puts a big hamper on Barcelona trying to sell him this summer. There are reports coming from PSV saying that PSV were satisfied with his performances, but after his injury, it's not clear if they want to, you know, buy the player from Barcelona or not. So big question marks. But thankfully, the PSV general director did confirm the operation to sign Serginho Dest is on the right track. Even though his injury doesn't look good, we have to wait and see what happens. But we believe that Serginho and he will return to fitness, and we would like him to stay. This also has been now confirmed by reports. Despite this big injury where he'll be out until 2025, PSV still want to keep him, but they might want to change some of the conditions for the deal. Of course, they have a 10 million euro buy option. Apparently, they want him for a little bit cheaper than that. I said in the last video that Barcelona have a real big upper hand. Now we've got absolutely no upper hand. We got an injured player here that will help, Barcelona in no means whatsoever. Will not be available until the new year. We're probably gonna have to bend over backwards to keep him over there at PSV. Hopefully not too much. Again, if the buy option they have is 10 million euros, if we can just squeeze to 10 million euro package, so 7 plus 3, 8 plus 2, 9 plus 1, even a 6 plus 4 or 5 plus 5, I would take it. Maybe even a 3 plus 7, I would probably take, 7 million if he becomes fit and stuff like that, because PSV will be taking a gamble on him, which, makes sense. But bloody hell, it's absolutely backfired on us. This injury has absolutely hindered getting any potential decent fee for Serginho Dest, and again, his future, I would say right now, is a bit in doubt. Because PSV don't buy him, he's going to come back to Barcelona. He's going to be, recuperating for about 6 months, 7 months, where we're going to be paying, of course, his wages, and then we'll have to wait until the January transfer window in 2025 to get rid of him. So it's not a good look for Barcelona. So hopefully PSV can actually come in and save us. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past few days. Now, one of the biggest news that's been coming out, of course, is about Barcelona returning to the 1-1 rule. We heard a lot of reports midweek that, oh, it's impossible to get back to the 1-1 rule. We're going to be screwed this summer. We're going to keep the same squad, maybe sell one or two big players and just pray that we can continue. Of course, that's not the case. Barcelona have many, many options and are very optimistic about returning to the 1-1 rule in La Liga. The main thing to return to that 1-1 rule is we need to generate another 100 million euros. That can be done in many different avenues. One of the avenues is the new Nike deal. Again, finally, Nike, credit to them. They pulled their head out of their arses. Luis Rojo from Marc came out saying that Barcelona and Nike are negotiating a mega contract and it's very advanced. The figures now are pretty similar to those offered by Puma. Barcelona intends to get 120 million euros per season, including bonuses for the next 10 years, and they're already very close to achieving it with Nike following the latest negotiation. Initially, there would be no penalties for Barcelona for bad results. In addition, there would be a bonus of signing the new contract worth 100 million euros. This is fundamental because the club urgently need this amount. So Nike have said, you know what, we can't afford to lose Barcelona. Again, one of our biggest, sporting clubs that's part of our asset. Can't lose them. Let's give them what they deserve. Finally. And again, that 100 million euro bonus will come in very, very handy. Franco Sport came out saying that Nike don't want to lose Barcelona and they've now exceeded Puma's offer to go up to 120 million per season. In addition, they're offering a renewal bonus of around 100 million euros as well. The new contract would be for 10 more years. The club themselves believe that by next week, the soap opera for the shirt can definitely end. Barcelona can now sign the contract renewal with Nike and announce the deal. Again, imagine if Barcelona can get this 100 million euro bonus in by next week, even the week after. You're right back into the 1-1 rule immediately, and again, the club are optimistic about that. Franco Sport again came out saying that with the 100 million euro renewal bonus from Nike that they are offering, Barcelona can cover the 100 million that they are pending from Barca Vision, 40 from Liberal Football Finance that they were supposed to pay, and the other 60 they were supposed to pay by June, which again, there is no guarantee. And with this 100 million euros from Nike and fulfilling the budget for the 23-24 season, Barcelona could return to the 1-1 rule, which is very important to reinforce the squad for next season. Fernando Polo from Mundo Deportivo came out saying there is optimism at Barcelona for being able to return to the 1-1 rule in the summer transfer window. At the moment within the club, there are positive inputs that the set budget can be met. The club has also made consultations with La Liga, who have confirmed this. I think even Javier Tebas came out speaking in the media, basically saying that Barcelona are well on track and definitely can reach the 1-1 rule before the summer transfer window. Raccoon have also come out saying that Javier Tebas and Barca officials met to face-to-face a few days ago. The league president expressed optimism the club will be able to return to 1-1 rule this summer. Barca is very close to securing the 40 million euros from Liberal Football Finance. We got the 100 million from Nike coming in, 40, maybe even 60 coming in from Liberal, and by the way, we still have another 40 that we're still owed with the 50% sale of Barca Vision. Again, everything is well on track. Finally, Todibo from Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona have contacted several investment companies in the UAE and the USA to cover for the non-payment of Liberal for Barca Vision. It is expected they will reach an agreement with someone soon, and a meeting to finish the agreement could take place. So again, calma. Presley has absolutely got this to perfection. So again, any of these operations is good enough. We don't have to do all of them. Just one of them. So if you get them, again, we need 100 million euros generated income. You can get that from a sponsorship from the UAE, sponsorship from the US, the Liberal money from the Barca Vision, Nike renewal with the sign-on bonus. So many ways for Barcelona to recuperate that price. There also are reports that Barcelona could be playing a friendly at the end of the season. Again, just generate some more money there, probably 4 to 8 million euros, depending on where we go, who we face as well. We've done a lot of friendlies recently. Of course, the last one at the end of the year in December against Club America. We did one at the end of last season against Vissel Kobe when Iniesta was playing there. We had one last season as well, or last December not last December, the December before that with Boca Juniors, I believe. So again, Barcelona are looking at our predictions another end of season friendly. Again, the players do deserve it. By the way, they've been wanking this season. Said I want to play somewhere to play a random U game. I don't really care. So hopefully the club do proceed with that. But again, Barcelona returning to 1-1 rule. There's a lot of pathways to get there, and it's definitely a possibility. We could get there by next week, but again, getting there by the beginning of June is the most important thing. That way you have the month of June to work out contract renewals, work out important things before the window opens to pursue summer transfer signings. So again, Presi's got this. Everything's on track. He's working very hard again to try and find these investments from the UAE and the USA, along with getting the 100 million that Liberal Football Finance are supposed to give us, and with the 100 million euros on the Nike contract renewal bonus as well. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is in regards to the future of Rafa Marquez as his position at Barcelona, where it will be. Now, in regards to Xavi's future, I will not be talking about it in this video. The news has been flip-flopping back and forth so much over the past 24 hours. I will make a separate video, whether the separate video already came out before this video or after. I have no idea as of recording this video individually, but we'll wait and see on that. But on Rafa Marquez's future, Sport have come out saying that Barcelona have offered a 1-year contract renewal extension to Rafa Marquez. The club is very satisfied with him and wants him to continue shaping himself as a future candidate to manage the first team, and also his work with Barça Athletic has been fundamental and has also managed the youth players very well. Even with multiple absences from his squad due to injuries or youth players going up to the first team, he is fighting for promotion. So again, the club want Rafa Marquez to stay next season, whether he's the first team coach, B team coach. Again, they see him as a good candidate, maybe as an interim manager next season if things go badly, if of course he's not the manager himself. So the club really like Rafa Marquez. He's done a very good job at Barça Athletic. Credit to him. People were crying when Laporta sacked Garcia Pimienta. He's brought in, of course, Sergi didn't do that great, and of course he got promoted to the first team, and then he left. Rafa Marquez has come in and done an exceptional job over these 2 years where he's been coaching the B team, so great for him. Definitely a deserved renewal as well, and we'll see where his future lies in the next few weeks. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past few days. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want to first, of course, is your thoughts on the summer transfer targets and Dani Olmo, Aleix Garcia, Bernardo Silva, your thoughts on the sale of Araujo and Frenkie de Jong, Barcelona returns to the 1-1 rule. Are you optimistic about that? And of course, those contract renewal updates as well on Rafa Marquez, Sergi, Roberto, and even Marc, Guiu. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barça. Yeah.